All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Hakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasharala that rule well, and salutations to you, Akim, out there in the highways and the byways, preaching his word in truth and in sincerity. This is the brother Shakal,
Brother Rapaya.
coming at you with another lesson out here from the GMS Chicago camp. And basically, what we're going to touch on today is going to be about discipline. Because this thing of ours, as our beloved apostle Gabar likes to say, that's a big part. That's a big part of this truth, man. To discipline and keep our body under subjection. Because if you don't have discipline, hey, that could be the reason why we could potentially fall off. Because we're feeding too much to the flesh, and we don't want to do that, man. We want to, like the scriptures say, this is it? Okay. This is Galatians 5:16. It says, "This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." And see, in order for us to be able to walk in the Spirit, we have to discipline ourselves. Why? Because the Spirit, the flesh is going to fight against the Spirit. Like the next verse says, "For the flesh lusted against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would." So if when we keep ourselves disciplined and neglect our flesh, obviously things that are going up, but even things that might not, potentially be going up, because you feeding to your flesh, hey, you could be off balance, and then that could now, because you're feeding to your flesh now, you're strengthening your flesh, so to speak, and now you're going to become more of a carnal man, and it can lead to the point where you actually don't care if you sin. Why? Because you're not applying any type of discipline. But when you do, and you do things according to the Spirit, and you neglect the flesh, and you keep it under control, and so on and so forth, hey, it gives you less of a chance to go off, and it keeps you in the Spirit, man. You know, if you realize, if because we all have our down, our down, not downtime, our lows, you know. When you realize, when you feed your flesh, you don't really react according to the Spirit. You react according to the flesh. But when you start disciplining yourself and you do things according to your Spirit, you react according to the Spirit. Which means what? Now you're walking in the Spirit, and it makes it easier. And this is an everyday battle. So the more we keep the flesh under subjection, the more we're gonna walk in the Spirit. And the less of a chance we're gonna, we're gonna go off. It says that's why right here it says at the end of verse 17, it says, "So that ye cannot do the things that ye would," which is what? Which is following the law, statutes, and commandments. Doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. When you don't discipline yourself, you don't do the things that you want to do and then that we should do. But when we do, we're more on point, and we do more videos, and we react more according to the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna skip down to verse 25. It says that if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. And the flesh is a motherfucker, man. You give it any excuse, it's gonna take it. And we don't want to do that, man. Like the scriptures say, hey, know what's evil for you and keep it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, brothers have different lawful lust, so to speak. But we gotta keep that under subjection. We're not here to live our best lives. And satisfy our own selves. We're here to do the work of Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, man. You know, so we got to keep this flesh under subjection. Be like, you know what? Is it really profitable for me to be doing this right now? You know what? No. Let me do this instead. As hard as it may seem, you know, hey, nothing's gonna happen. You know. And then guess what? When you do give his Lord, when we do give our Lord his due time, hey, it feels good when you do the things that when you start doing folly, so to speak. Why? Because now you have it in balance. You took care of the work of the Lord first. You disciplined yourself, and now when you do feed the flesh, with the freedom that the Lord gave us, you feel better because hey, you're disciplining yourself and you're doing it in balance. And the Lord told us what? Don't be righteous over much, you know. But that discipline plays a big part of that in that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Kind of, this is Ecclesiasticus 18:30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. You know, so you got to put the flesh under subjection. You can't always be feeding it. It's better to fast often, you know, and be in the scriptures, right? And so this way we're walking in the spirit, having the mind of Yahushai, of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You see?
Mm-hmm. Now that you got that, this is Proverbs 23 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Proverbs 23 and 2, it says, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite, you know, given to basically your lust, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking up the word appetite. Yeah, and one meaning of it, a meaning of appetite is pleasure. You know, so if you lack discipline and you're giving to pleasure and you see that there's no way out of it and you can't for some reason find yourself applying discipline, hey, you might as well kill yourself, man. Because now you're just a fool, man. The scriptures talk about your enemies mocking you when you don't have self control. You know?
Oh, yeah, no, it's the next verse.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Sirach 18:31. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee.
Yeah, because there's no profit in that, man. You know, that's not what the Lord sent us out here for, man. How we're gonna defeat our enemies and become great and high value men, so to speak, is by adding discipline. You know, if we don't, hey, we're gonna destroy ourselves, man. You know, which is exactly what these people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at these women. The scriptures say, "She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth." You know, and mainly these women are the ones giving themselves to pleasure, man. You know, but it's crazy because now you niggas are acting like them. You know, but we can't be like that, man. We gotta apply discipline, man. You know, and not give ourselves to our appetites. You know, be able to have the self control that no matter how hard it might feel or how bad our flesh wants to do it, you know, we'll say no, and not even put ourselves in a situation where we become vulnerable to that. You know, and sometimes applying discipline isn't as easy as we're speaking it. You know, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes those demons in that flesh is really attacking. Like, hey, you know, do this, do this, do this. Don't do this and that. You know, we gotta have that strength. You know, to be like no. You know, pray to Yahweh Shai. You know, but we have to apply discipline, man. You catch yourself being out of balance in certain things, you know what? Let me abstain from that for a while. And everybody has their own thing. What is it? You know, I believe I quoted earlier about see what is evil for you. What's evil for you might not be evil for the next brother. You know, the next brother might not even care about that. You know, So we gotta know what's evil for ourselves, and we gotta be like, you know what? No, I already know. I've been through this before. I've been in this situation. I know what's gonna happen. I'm not even gonna get near that. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna go around that. Because I know if I do that, I'm gonna want to do this, and then it's gonna be downhill from there. We gotta have that mentality, man. It's not easy, but we have to do it. It's not hard, man. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, but it's not impossible. You know, that's what I meant to say. It's not impossible. If we really believe in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, there is no temptation or lust that is impossible for us to defeat. You know, if you really believe in the Lord, you gotta be like, you know what, hey, you know what, Lord, Baba Kushak, be with me. I believe you can get me out of this, you know, this whatever the case, you know, whatever's making you fall, whatever's making you not be disciplined, you know. And guess what? Because you do that, and you try, and you back it up with actions. Guess what? The Lord would will remove it from you, man. Will give you the strength to fight it. You know, there's brothers that they had a demon with certain things, and because they applied and they had faith in the Lord and prayed and did all that, now that thing that was once a demon to them, they could care less about it. You know, discipline is a very big part, man. And discipline, man, discipline gets you a lot of respect. You know, I mean, just the athletes alone. You know, look at the athletes, man. People marvel like, damn, you're in the gym this much time. You don't do this, you don't do that. Man, you're a lame. Let's go out for a drink. No, I can't. I gotta do this. What? But yeah, at the end of the day, you still get respect. You know, because not everybody, you know, applies that discipline, especially in the society that we live in. This society that we live in, everybody's getting to their lust, man. Even the people that think that they're not, they are, man. You know?
Kind of there's Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 37, verse 27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. So, you got to know, what you're getting into, because, it's easy to build up a vice of some sort, like of overdoing too much, you know. Sometimes you just need to cut things completely out, and take a break from it, you see, because you don't want to throw off your discipline. Discipline is very important.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're gonna, basically have like a routine of doing the same thing no matter what pops up, whatever, no matter what happens, no matter how you feel, you're gonna get the work done.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's part of discipline, is doing it.
Yeah. This is 1 Corinthians 9 and 24. It says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. In all things. It says, now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So how much more are we supposed to have discipline, man? You know, brothers say it all the time. You know, so like brothers say it all the time, man. You see, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all these athletes, how they have these great stories and how they're like real disciplined. Well, if they do it for a corruptible crown, a trophy that is not gonna last very long, how much more us for an everlasting crown, man? Discipline is, we gotta discipline ourselves to, damn, I haven't done a video or I haven't done anything for the Lord, but my flesh wants to do this. You know what? Hey, forget the flesh. I gotta do this. You gotta be able to say, okay, well, I know that if I do this, I'm gonna want to keep doing it. And last time that happened, it made me, not do the work for like God knows how long, and my spirit was very low. You know what? No, let me abstain from that because that puts me in a bad state of mind. You know, that's applying discipline. That's using wisdom. You know, it says, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly. It says, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Right? We don't. When we, if you're fighting as one that beats the air, that means you're every time the flesh calls, you listen. You know, you talk a good game, but every time the flesh tickles you, so to speak, you're right there entertaining. Nah, man, you gotta fight and make those shots count, man. You know, and how do you do that? Hey, when the flesh calls, you reject it. You know, and sometimes, hey, sometimes you might be abstaining from certain things, and Satan is so is so tricky. He'll send a brother. Hey, let's do this. Now he might not know it, but it might be, and it might not even be his battle. It might be okay for him to do it, but not for you. So we gotta have that discipline to be like, hey, Salakia, I'm gonna fall back right now. I'm gonna fall back today. I'm not gonna do this. I'm good. You know, you don't even have to tell her, but you can just be like, nah, I'm good. You know, and that takes discipline, man. And a lot of times, you know, Jake will make that excuse that, okay, I won't do it, but if it's with a brother or a brother calls, but it's with a brother. Like, nah, even then you gotta be like, you know what? It's still profitable for me. Hey, let that brother have fun. You know, and Lord willing, he enjoys himself, but I can't put myself in that situation right now. Right now, it's time for me to discipline myself. You know, that's the mindset we gotta have, man. Continuing verse 25, it says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. You see? You fucking grab the flesh and put it in a chokehold, man. You know, it says, lest by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. You know? And a lot of things that discipline does too, it makes you not be a hypocrite, man. You know, because when you apply discipline, then guess what? You practice what you preach. You know, and now when you out there preaching, you're not gonna be somebody who's just talking, and then when they go, you know, back home, now they're not even doing what they're saying. You know, so we gotta practice that discipline. I believe if you go into that word, my body into subjection, I believe it goes into beating it. You know, like literally beating it and bruising it. You know, so we gotta do that. You know, spiritually. You know. Yeah. Yeah, to bring into subjection, to treat it and to treat us as slave, man.
Rigid discipline.
Yeah.
Subject to stern and rigid discipline.
To keep under, that's the one. Yeah. To keep under is where it says, but that one's good too.
Mm-hmm.
Not to keep under. Look up the words to keep under. Yep. To beat black and blue. To smile as to cross bruises and live its spots. Like a boxer, one buffets his body, handle it roughly, disciplined by hardships. You see? That's what we gotta do to this flesh, man. In the spiritual sense. You know? No matter how hard it may seem, hey, to keep it, man, and you feel your spirit feels so much better when you do that, man. It's not easy, but you have more of a satisfaction than when you take heed to your flesh, man. Because when you take heed to your flesh, you have more of a dissatisfaction. You feel disgusted with yourself, like, man, what the fuck was I thinking? Yeah, it might have felt good at that moment, but once that feeling is gone, it's like, what the fuck? You feel worse than before you even took heed. But when you take discipline, you feel great. You feel, man, my flesh wanted to do this, but I did this. Man, call all Yahweh Shai. Then I feel good, right? Because at the end of the day, we know that's what we gotta do, and that's what pleases Yahweh Shai. You know? And trust me, this flesh is a motherfucker, man. And even you might feel like that, but the flesh still wants to do whatever it wants to do. You know, but we gotta keep that in mind, and we gotta keep that discipline to be like, no, I feel way much better and I perform way much better when I'm disciplined and stay away from this or have control over this instead of when I'm off balance, you know? So this is a very big part of my walk, man, discipline um, uh, helps us make it, man, you know?
Done. Um, let me see.
You know, hey, a lot of brothers, you know, to abstain from certain things, what do? They actually work out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they actually work out. They abstain from certain foods. You know, first and foremost, yeah, this word. But hey, you know your flesh. You know your flesh. So instead, do something that will keep you in that mindset. Even if it's not concerning the truth, something that, like, you know what, this is more profitable than doing this madness, and this will at least have some benefit for me in the truth than me doing this. You know, anything you can do to keep yourself disciplined, do it.
Mm. Yeah, there's an online etymology dictionary for discipline: penitential chastisement or punishment for the sake of correction, discipline, physical punishment, teaching, suffering. Right, so you have to be patient, martyrdom, instruction given, teaching, learning, knowledge, instruction.
Yeah. Hey, and a lot of discipline comes with sacrifice, man. We're gonna have to sacrifice certain things, to so we could be like that,
Mm-hmm.
having a good time or whatever the case is. Sometimes we're gonna have to. Sometimes, let's say an opportunity comes of a good time, or to be with the woman of your dreams, or to do the thing that you've been wanting to do the most. But hey, you might have to sacrifice that. Why? Because hey, it's not the right time to do it. It is not the time to do it at that moment. Hey, and the Lord is so merciful because He sees you do that. He'll probably let that opportunity come in a seasonable time. And then you can do it in balance.
Mm-hmm.
But we gotta have that discipline first. And if we see that it's not the right time to do certain things at this certain time, then we gotta be like, no.
Right, there's Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So there's a time and place for all these things. You see, it doesn't have to. You don't have to overindulge in certain things. All right, it's better to be disciplined. Level-headed and walking in wisdom. Walking in the Spirit. All right, because giving into your flesh, you could be off balance. With that, we hope this lesson was edifying and exhorting. Again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Chakdash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule on to us this truth, and salutations to all the Akim pushing this for truth and its sincerity with charity. Shalom.
Shalom.
Baba.